Stranger Things, 13 Reasons Why, Dark, Sex Education, and so much more to watch, but so little time. Netflix, the story behind the DVD rental company that changed the world forever. Welcome to the channel today. We will do a stock analysis on Netflix and learn about the history of the company, then come to a decision whether stock is worth a buy or not. Does Netflix still have main market share? And if so, are the competitors coming to get them? You'll find out this and so much more if you watch to the very end. Let's begin with the history of Netflix, so get your popcorn ready as you're about to go on an adventure of a lifetime as we look at the history of Netflix. Netflix was first founded in August of 1997 by two entrepreneurs, Marc Randolph and Reed Hastings. The company began out in Scotts Valley, California, and has grown to become one of the world's leading internet entertainment platforms. When it first opened, Netflix was purely a movie rental service. Users ordered movies on the Netflix website and received DVDs in the post. When they were finished with them, they would simply post them back to Netflix in an envelope provided. At the time, this was seen as a boon to those who did not have a video rental store nearby. Remember those? Blockbuster, Hollywood Video, Civic Video, Video Easy for Australian and New Zealand viewers, all gone bust. Reed Hastings, co-founder of Netflix in 1997, was an entrepreneur who in 1991 had founded Pure Software, which made tools for software developers. After a 1995 IPO and several acquisitions, Pure Software was acquired by Rational Software in 1997. Hastings received a BA from Bowdoin College in 1983 and a Master's in Artificial Intelligence from Stanford University in 1988. Between Bowdoin and Stanford, he served in the Peace Corps as a high school maths teacher in Swaziland. Today he is an active educational philanthropist, having served on the California State Board of Education and on the board of several educational organizations. Marc Randolph is a veteran Silicon Valley entrepreneur, advisor, and investor. As a co-founder, he also served on the Netflix board of directors until he retired in 2003. Randolph graduated from university with a degree in geology and would go on to found and run various mail order and direct-to-customer companies before Netflix. Throughout Randolph's career, he founded no fewer than 6 successful startups, including the magazine Macworld, and has mentored hundreds of early-stage entrepreneurs. It was originally a rent-by-mail DVD service that used a pay-per-rental model. Users would browse and order the film they wanted on their website, put in an order, and Netflix would post them to the door. After renters had finished with the DVD, they would simply post them back. Rentals cost around $4 each, plus $2 for postage. After significant growth, Netflix switched to a subscriber-based model. With this model, users could keep the DVDs for as long as they liked, but could only rent a new movie after returning their existing. Netflix mail order rental model would directly challenge the market's dominance of brick-and-mortar rental giants like Blockbuster. In fact, Blockbuster could ultimately not compete with the move to online streaming and rental and filed for bankruptcy in 2010. But funnily enough, this never needed to happen. Years earlier, Blockbuster had the opportunity to partner with Netflix, or even buy the company out. In 2000, Netflix CEO and co-founder Reed Hastings approached Blockbuster about a partnership. Unfortunately for Blockbuster, the CEO just smiled and laughed at him. In fact, Blockbuster even had a chance to purchase Netflix for $50 million. What a disaster for Blockbuster. They could have been a great movie subscription company. Why is Netflix called Netflix? You could probably work this one out pretty easily yourself, but in case you are still stumped, the name Netflix is a combination of net, as in the abbreviation for internet, and flick, a variation of flick, the common abbreviation for a movie or film. How was Netflix founded? At the time, Netflix was founded by Randolph while working as a marketing director for Hastings company Pure Software. He was also the co-founder of Micro Warehouse, a computer mail order company. By all accounts, the pair came up with the idea for Netflix during a commute between their home in Santa Cruz and Pure HQ's headquarters in Sunnyvale. Hastings would supply the seed capital and invest $2.5 million into the startup in cash. Inspired by Amazon's e-commerce model, the pair explored various portable ideas they could use to sell over the internet in a similar fashion. After initially considering and rejecting VHS cassettes, they settled on DVDs as the perfect product. They tested the idea by posting a DVD to their home in Santa Cruz, and when it arrived in perfect condition, they decided the time was right to break into the market with their revolutionary model. Netflix officially launched in April of 1998 As one of the world's first online DVD rental companies, it had only a few staff and just over 1,000 titles at the time. Their subscriber-based business model launched in 1999. Netflix debuted a subscription service offering unlimited DVD rentals for one low monthly price. Netflix introduces a personalized movie recommendation system which uses members' ratings to predict choices for all Netflix members. Netflix goes public in 2002 with a membership count of 600,000 in the US. Netflix makes its initial public offering on the Nasdaq under the ticker NFLX. Stock was initially offered for $15 a share, initial offering of 5.5 million shares. The company ends the year with around 857,000 registered Netflix accounts. The company celebrated 1 million subscribers in 2003. The company also issued a patent with the US Patent and Trademark Office for its subscription rental service. With some other extensions, co-founder Marc Randolph steps down as member of the board and leaves Netflix in 2003. 2004 sees a doubling in the number of Netflix accounts, surpassing 2 million. At the same time, Netflix also faces one of its first encounters with the legal system when they are sued for false advertising in relation to claims of unlimited rentals with one-day delivery. Netflix denied any wrongdoing and both parties eventually agreed on a settlement. By 2005, Netflix had doubled its subscriber base again. The number of Netflix members rose to 4.2 million. Netflix accounts hit a new record of 5 million in 2006. Netflix sees huge growth. The company also launched its Netflix Prize, promising a whopping 1 million to the first person or team who can achieve a set accuracy goal in recommending movies based on personal preferences. Netflix also released around 100 million anonymous movie ratings using a system that rates films from 1 to 5 stars. This is the largest set of such data released to date. Video streaming was introduced in 2007. Netflix introduced a streaming service called Watch Now, which allows members to instantly watch television shows and movies on their personal device. This was a huge shift in the company's business model. Initially, the service launched with just 1,000 titles and only worked on PCs and Internet Explorer. It also offered a limit on the number of hours of free streaming, which a maximum of 18 free hours a month, based on the user's subscription plan. Netflix was also careful to say that they felt DVDs would be around for a long time. Despite these limitations, it was soon clear that streaming was the future of the entertainment business. By the end of 2007, Netflix had 7.5 million registered subscribers, up almost 20% on the previous year. Netflix partners with consumer electronics companies to allow streaming on the Xbox 360, Blu-ray disc players, and TV set-top boxes. The year ends with around 9 million subscribers. Netflix is then added to PlayStation and smart TVs. Its membership base also expanded to an amazing 12 million accounts by the end of the year. The Netflix Prize also found a winner this year in Balcor Pragmatic Chaos team, consisting of 7 researchers from 4 countries. Running for over 3 years, the contest had attracted tens of thousands of contestants from more than 180 countries worldwide. Netflix is available on Apple iPad, iPhone and iPod Touch, Nintendo Wii. Netflix launches its service in Canada, and by year's end, with more than 20 million subscribers on the books. It also marked where the numbers of customers who were primary streaming shows outpaced those who were renting, leading Hastings to declare in October earnings call that by every measure we are now primarily a streaming company that also offers DVD by mail. Buoyed by the success of its streaming service, Netflix decided to split its streaming and DVD rental services into 2 separate services, forcing customers who wanted to use both to open a second account. Instead of paying $10 a month for a DVD rental and unlimited on-demand streaming, customers who wanted both services would have to pay for 2 different packages starting at $7.99 each or $15.98 for the pair. Within a few months, Netflix had lost 600,000 subscribers in the US and the company stock had lost half its value. Despite all this, in October, Hastings announced that the separation would continue and the DVD service would be called Quickster. A month later, facing a shareholder and customer revolt, Hastings abruptly changed course and abandoned plans for Quickster, although the DVD and streaming plans would remain separate. The debacle was a rare blunder for Netflix, which in the future would be deemed much smarter to the way it raised prices slowly and steadily. This year also saw the launch of Amazon's Instant Video, which made available 5,000 movies and TV shows from Amazon Prime. Members in a move to directly compete with Netflix. The UK and Nordic countries were taken by storm in 2012 when Netflix became available in Europe, including United Kingdom, Ireland and Nordic countries. Netflix wins its first Primetime Emmy Engineer Award. They also premiered their first original stand-up special, Bill Burr, You People Are All the Same. Netflix also hits 21 million subscribers. Netflix became an award-winning service in 2013. Netflix received 31 Primetime Emmy nominations, including Outstanding Drama Series, Comedy Series, and Documentary or Non-Fiction Special for House of Cards, Orange is the New Black, and The Square, respectively. Netflix was the first internet TV network nominated for the Primetime Emmy. Netflix also released some other popular originals programs like Hemlock Grove and Arrested Development, while also unveiling the profiles featuring, which allows users to create different profiles for different users. By year's end, the company had more than 40 million subscribers. 2014 sees Netflix continued expansion into Europe in 6 new countries, including Austria, Belgium, France, Germany, Luxembourg, and Switzerland. And it also won 7 Creative Emmy Awards. Netflix at this point has arrived at 50 million subscribers worldwide. Netflix expands into Australia in 2015, as well as New Zealand and Japan, with continued expansion across Europe and Italy, Spain and Portugal. First Netflix original feature film, Beast of the No Nation, is released. Netflix also premiered its first non-English original series, the Mexican comedy Club de Cuervos. At the same time, Amazon's Transparent became the first show produced by Amazon Studios to win a major award. Netflix was no longer the only streaming game in town. 2016 is a big year for Netflix, as Netflix expands to another 130 countries around the world, bringing its reach to a total of 190 countries. Also offers programming in 21 languages. They also unveiled their download feature, which allows members to download TV shows and movies for offline viewing. Netflix continues to expand its collection of original international shows, with the first French series Marseille, the first Brazilian series 3%, and the first non-English language original film Spanish Lover, Seven Anos. 2017 is another killer year for the company. They won the first Academy Award for the Best Documentary Short Subject for the White Helmet. At the same time, subscriber numbers reached an outstanding 100 million globally. Netflix also expands their international collection with the very popular series La Casa de Papel from Spain, Blood of Rome from Italy, and Dark from Germany. The year ends with a minor controversy, as Netflix calls out users who watch the same films multiple times. It also made users very aware that their watching habits were being monitored by the company and sparked concerns over privacy. Things got better and better for Netflix in 2018. Netflix wins more Academy Awards for its original content, including Best Documentary Feature for Icarus. 2018 also sees Netflix acquisition of book publisher Miller World, founded by the legendary comic book creator Max Miller, in order to adapt company properties into film and TV shows. In March, Netflix employees launched the phone playing the original series Star Trek Discovery into Space. This stunt was to celebrate the service now being available in more than 190 countries around the world. Netflix also became the most nominated service at this year's Primetime and Creative Art Emmy Awards, receiving an amazing 112 nominations. The company ties with the feature on HBO for most wins, taking home 23 accolades for their series, including Godless, Queer Eye, and 7 Seconds. Amazon was coming up close behind, however, as the streaming service announced it had secured a UK right to broadcast live Premier League football matches and purchased the global television adaptation rights to Lord of the Rings, which aired on Prime Video 2019. 2019 saw more awards coming towards Netflix way, winning 4 Academy Awards for Best Director, Best Foreign Language, Best Cinematography for Roma, and Best Documentary Short Subject for Period. They also acquired the intellectual property rights for Storybots, which was an Emmy, Annie, and Parent Choice Awards-winning children's media brand. Netflix also released Claws, its first ever original animated feature film. 2019 also sees the release of Inside Bill Brain, 3-part documentary covering the life and times of the man behind Microsoft. It is an instant hit. Netflix and Tesla also confirmed that the streaming service will be available on Tesla's screens. Netflix unveils its first international original film in the Middle East. This year, Netflix wins 27 Primetime and Creative Art Emmy Awards for series including Black Mirror, Bandersnatch, Ozark, and When They See Us. However, not everything is rosy with the company. A number of other companies began to get into the act by starting or expanding their own streaming services. Disney, AT&T, and Apple all launched their own Netflix alternative in 2019. When Disney Plus made its debut the following year, it meant the end of Disney blockbusters. What does the future have in store for Netflix? Many experts believe that the future looks less rosy for Netflix. This is in part because of the explosion in other streaming services launched to challenge Netflix. Dominant Netflix, to its credit, appears to have predicted the impending threat several years ago, as it acknowledged the major media conglomerate would start to pull their content from networks to add to their own set. Netflix had 200 107 million paid subscribers worldwide as of the first quarter of 2021. Most Netflix subscribers are based in the United States and Canada, with the US and Canada accounting over 74 million of Netflix's total global subscriber base. Now we know the history of Netflix and its business model. Let's have a look at the financials. As you can see on the screen, the market cap of Netflix is around $228 billion, so a decent sized company. The share price of $520 to me is a little steep. PE ratio is pretty good for a company still growing, where Netflix gets caught because their expenses are way too high, as current revenue is $27.58 billion, which is great compared to $8.8 billion 5 years ago. But the bottom line, net income is only around 60% from the total revenue it made of just $4.39 billion, with $17 billion used on content for its streaming service in 2020. No wonder why they keep struggling to make the big net income gain. Total assets compared to total liabilities is pretty good, with a 33% buffer. Cash reserves OD with $7.77 billion sounds good in theory, but with long term nearly double at $14.92 billion, it's not a good sign long term. Shares outstanding, this is why the company is at a premium. Potential investors see the stock as a less volatile at 0.455 billion shares outstanding compared to Disney's 1.82 billion shares outstanding, so maybe Disney is undervalued. Something to look at. Employees have increased every year, but the possible drop in percentage in 2020 could mean Netflix is about to stabilise, hopefully grow the business without having to employ so many more people. With 9,400 employees in 2020, it may head towards the 10,000 by the end of 2021. Gross profit of 42.29%, which is just below the sector median, is very good. The revenue growth of over 21.91% is good, as the sector median is very low at just over 1%. Lastly, I found price to book ratio quite low for Net. I was expecting a huge number, so 16.57 probably means the stock is fairly valued. Now we know the financial implications. Now what are the concerns for Netflix going forward? In April, Netflix said it had gained 4 million paid subscribers, a big shortfall from the 6.2 that analysts had anticipated. Even more alarming, the company said it would add only 1 million subscribers, about to be reported quarter. With Disney Plus, Apple TV, HBO Max and Amazon Prime eating away at the subscribers of Netflix, are they in trouble? While they are still currently leading the race in the market share, but has dropped significantly from 29% down to 20% in 2020, with Amazon Prime at 17%, HBO Max at 12% and Disney Plus at 11%, with all of them climbing at a faster rate than Netflix. Will they have deep enough pockets to keep making content? If I was Netflix, I would figure out how to improve their cartoon or Marvel related content to compete. This is the one thing right now that is super popular with the family audience, or they will perish just like Blockbuster. So how do I see Netflix as a stock? They seem like a steady stock to me, but the cash burn to make great quality content is putting them more and more into the debt, which is a big concern. But again, like MasterCard, Domino's, Tesla, they are still number one in the field. They always come up at a premium price, as a lot of hedge funds must have the best of the best companies in their portfolio, and they're almost forced to have Netflix, as it is the number one company in the streaming service game at the moment. So where can the Netflix stock go to? It could easily hit $1,000, or it could also go to bankruptcy. Can they diversify into new sectors, products to improve their bottom line? For me, the stock would have to go to 200 for me to be really interested, which is highly unlikely, as I'm more pessimistic about Netflix than say Disney, HBO Max, Amazon Prime and Apple TV, as these companies have way more diversified portfolios and generally have more cash in hand. Netflix does. For instance, Amazon has $73 billion, Apple has $69 billion and Disney has $50 billion cash in hand, so all have way more money than Netflix. Used to invest into the business, and my final views on this stock is to avoid it. But if you believe in the vision of Netflix, you may do well over time, but I don't see long-term sustainable growth in the current climate. It's time for me to skedaddle to watch my favourite Netflix Disney Plus content. Thanks for coming along today. Remember to give the Financial Guru some love by smashing the like button and subscribing to the channel, so I can continue to provide great content designed just for you. Unfortunately, I am not your financial advisor, as all my affiliates are for educational and entertainment purposes only. Seek professional advice before buying any stock or cryptocurrency. Thank you once again for joining me today on the channel. Until we meet again, I'm off to watch Stranger Things or 13 Reasons Why. Much love to you all.